California Attorney General responds to Trump's crackdown on trans athletes amid track championship chaos. The DOJ announced the investigation Wednesday, one day after President Donald Trump threatened to pull the funding from the state for allowing a trans athlete to compete in the girls' track and field championship. Bonta's office responded to the recent pressure on him and the state of California over the issues in a statement to Fox News Digital. And he says, and I quote, "We remain committed to defending and upholding California laws and all the additional laws which ensure the rights of students, including transgender students, to be free from discrimination and harassment. We will continue to closely monitor the Trump administration's actions in this space," the statement said. The DOJ's announcement of its investigation against the state cited a law that includes Bonta as a defendant. The lawsuit filed against the families of two girls at Martin Luther King High School in Riverside, California, alleges the school's cross country team drops one athlete from their varsity spot in favor of a trans athlete, and that the school's administrators compared their Save the Girl Sports t-shirts to swastikas. Fox News Digital has previously reported on that. So, look at your face. Just to summarize, the DOJ announced an investigation. Donald Trump and his team has been turning the trans movement upside down, right? They said you're not going to get any federal funding if y'all keep doing this trans stuff. And the reason why it affects California specifically is they had a lawsuit where in California they were replacing actual women for their track team with trans men.
A recent Harvard study shows that you are a loser. Out of all of the sperm that fought to reach the egg, are you really the one who won?
Goodness gracious.
And replacing the qualified biological women with trans men.
Right.
And now they're worried about their funding getting taken away. This guy, the Attorney General, was appointed by Gavin Newsom in 2021. Now, what do you think about this?
So first of all, Attorney General, was that Kamala Harris's previous position before she was?
Dang, I don't want to speak on it wrong. I think so, but I don't want to say wrong.
Okay, yeah, I thought that before she ran for president, she was the Attorney General of California. I can't remember, but obviously this is a politicized position, which doesn't really make sense to me. Isn't an Attorney General? It's not supposed to be a partisan role in government, is it?
Not supposed to be.
It's in the judiciary branch, correct?
Yeah, but here's the problem that I have is like you got Trump who has made this statement, right, to try to protect and speak on common sense issues to say we don't want California to give up biological women's spaces for actual men. And this Attorney General guy is saying we don't care. We are going to stand on what California says to do.
Yeah.
My problem is like, what do you think you're doing?
Well, one of the things that struck me while you were reading that is it's this Orwellian thing, like George Orwell talked about in 1984, that a
great book.
Big Brother uses language to not just lie or misrepresent, but to do a complete 180 inversion of what the truth is, right? Like peace is war, 2 + 2 is 5. It's like I think the language that Bonta guy used was, "We will protect our transgender students from harassment." It's like, actually, the transgender students are the ones who are harassing people, because girls until 5 minutes ago were able to compete in their sports amongst other girls, and everyone was fine with it. And now these weird men are instead of competing against people of their own sex, have found, oh well, I could get attention, I could be a top athlete in my age bracket or my weight bracket if I just compete against girls.
Everybody has to call me brave and beautiful.
Right, yeah. And I get to stand on moral high ground and yell at everybody who misgenders me or whatever, you know?
Here's the thing that just disgusts me about this. It's like, imagine if you or I went into a girls' weightlifting competition and just said, now we're the winners, and started lifting more weights than them and declared ourselves the winners. Everybody would be like, you just an a-hole for that. Everybody
Yeah.
would say that.
First
Now,
of
here's the
all,
problem.
you're wrong. You're wrong. You're not the winners. You didn't register. You didn't follow the rules. Second of all, you're rude. Let's not forget about that. And then, yeah, like you're deranged for trying.
Here's the problem. So that same scenario that I just claimed, come in there and claim you're the winner, is happening just with men with dresses. So all we got to do is put on a dress. Then I get to come in your competition, beat you, and claim to be the winner. And now I am the winner. All I had to do was put on a little makeup and a dress.
Yeah.
The same exact biological man.
I bet that transgender dude that's running with these track people, I bet he masturbates too.
Why did you say that?
Because we talked about masturbation. It's called coming back to a previous time.
Literally. But no, man, no.
No, but don't you think it's odd that the statement that you read from Bonta, that he is so inverting the truth? It's not just a deviation, it's a 180 degree.
Yeah.
He's saying we will stand for the justice, or like we will uphold the law of California.
What
Again,
about the girls?
He's framing it like Donald Trump is coming in to like undermine law and justice,
Yeah.
when it's actually like kind of the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. In California, the law is, whatever, they're gonna recognize transgender athletes as legitimate. Okay, that's fine that you made the law that way. That goes against natural law. It goes
not
against
only that, but Trump has
common
already
sense.
declared we are a nation with two genders.
Right.
So
yeah.
you want to go against everybody because you want to have your little, statement where you feel superior because I'm the beacon of a left-wing ideology. So now I get to have all the left-wing people look to me and say, look, oh, he's so great. Look, he's standing for, what is it called? Where people are so left-wing that he's standing for the woke mind virus. Here's the
All
problem.
the super progressive people.
Yeah, progressive is the
Yeah,
word I'm looking
yeah.
for. He's standing for progressive ideology. The problem is like in doing that, they claim they stand for women by doing this, when in actuality they're doing the exact opposite of what they claim to do.
Yeah.
Liberals always do this, man.
Timothy, what's wrong?
I'm a liberal and I'm really gay.
Get out of my house!
I'm glad that we got our gripe session out. How do we fix this problem? Like, let's say we lived in California,
Yeah.
okay? Or let's say it came to where we live, okay? And this was just the government, like the AG of Wisconsin was saying Donald Trump is trying to prevent our transgender students from being able to compete. How do we do? Like, let's say we have daughters that run in track, and we want them to be able to compete fairly against their fellow girls in Wisconsin, right? And there's some trans guy in the conference, and he's gonna run against our daughters. How do we fix this problem?
This is what I would do. There's a couple things I would do. But see, here's a couple of the responses. Everybody has to be on the same page.
Mhm.
Because what I would do is I would go and I would lobby to all the other parents. We are taking our kids out. If these
Out of
transgender,
public school, or
yep,
just
and
out of
not
the
only out of the
competition?
school, out of the competition, whatever you got to do. It can start
Okay.
small. We're out of the competition. Y'all don't want to change it for next year. We taking them out of the
Right.
school, and I would take him, and I would try to get as many people on my side to where we say, listen, we're only going to go to schools who have our daughter's safety and our daughter's best intentions in mind. And then
Right.
what I would do is I would try to get it to where if these transgender people want to compete, they can compete by themselves. You're not competing against my daughter. If
Right.
you want to compete, have your little award ceremony when it's just the two of y'all.
You know what? So in Wisconsin, it's the WIAA, the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic
Yeah.
Association. When we wrestled in WIAA state
Yeah.
tournament or whatever, right? So I'm sure that's how it is for track. They
Yeah.
compete in some WIAA sanctioned tournament.
Uh-huh.
If you could convince enough parents to say, we are not going to compete in any WIAA
Exactly.
events until you get the transgender athletes out of the competition.
Yep.
And we are, in fact, holding our own competition at a
Exactly.
different track.
That's what I would do.
And we're going to call it the, whatever.
And then this is what I would do. You got to be smart. So I would do that, and I would call everybody who would publicize it. I would call Fox News.
Yeah.
I would call every
TMJ4.
yes. And then I would have as many. I would try to get it so big
Right.
that it would knock all this other competitions out of the
Yeah.
park. And
Yeah,
then you would
I
be
would
like,
even
I
lean
don't
into
care
it.
what y'all say. This is the official competition
I would
right
even
now.
lean into it. Say, hey, did you hear that there are some people here wearing T-shirts that are tantamount to swastikas? And then the news people are like, holy cow, there's swastikas at a track
Yeah.
meet. They come and it says, let our what did the T-shirt say? Like, let our trans girl or sorry, let our girls run or something. Let our
Yeah.
girls compete.
Right.
And like, where are the swastikas? Oh, didn't you read? Let our girls compete. That's a swastika now.
Right.
You know?
Yep. So I would
The
play.
left owns themselves. All we really have to do is
You just gotta
report
be
the
smart.
news. Yeah, you don't have to. All you
Mhm.
have to do is just explain what they're doing, and they get owned.
Yep. I
Right.
agree with you 100%. I think that's what you should do. You should lobby. You should get people together with like mind. The reason why we can't do that is because too many cowards don't want to stand up against it. But when you get enough people with like mind to stand up against it, that's when it's going to stop.